connected. And there was no communication at that first kind of landing on the other side. But from there, I was lifted out of that experience into first this bright white realm that I don't talk much about because it was such a small part of my experience, but it had different colored streams and trees, and there was this pervasive love and music. There was this music that I never heard and never have again, that was otherworldly, other instruments, beautiful, all pervasive. Like this place was music. And then the thing I remember most is the experience of the golden light. And I call it the golden light because this place really didn't even have a name. It was an experience, a feeling of wholeness, a feeling of love, of completeness. There was an energy to it that was almost weighted. And the best I can describe it is it was a weighted blanket. It was this fullness that wrapped around my soul body. I didn't have a body there. I didn't have a mind. There was nothing but love, right? That's all it was. It was nothing but love. It was this experience of being whole. And I remember the fullness of that light wrapping around me, and then I just expanded. I became the light. That light wrapped around me, and I became that fullness. And that was the experience I believe I was meant to have. I left that place sometime after. I could have been there lifetimes, right? But I left and went back into this transitional place, I guess, on the raft. And I wanted to stay. Honestly, I felt so whole, and like that was the reality of that was real, and this human life was like imagined. That's how it felt. I wanted to stay, but I was shown the trajectory of my father's life, and that he wouldn't actualize his life on this planet if I were to choose to stay. And even though there was no right or wrong, and that's something I want to tell people, there was no right or wrong. I could have chosen to stay and it would have been okay, and it would have worked out, and everything was good and beautiful. Everything was for the greater good. But I chose to come back. I chose to heal people with music. And that's when I was given human feeling. That's when I was giving knowledge. I was downloaded with all of this information about why we're here, why now, what is important. It isn't important that what we focus on this planet actually is a distraction from reality. A lot of the things we think about are actually taking us away and distracting us from our presence. But in that moment, I remember I was so grateful to live, and I was given all of this information that I made a vow that I would make my life count. You know, this is kind of what I think about it now, but the vow was very simple. I want to go back and I will heal people with music. I will use music to help people. That was my vow. And I also made one other vow, and it was to give gratitude for every life experience, no matter what, because I knew it was all, we were guided, we were protected. It was all meant to happen. It was all from love. And right after I made those two simple vows, I went into this darkness, but it was this welcoming darkness. It was like womb-like, maybe. And I saw this musical staff in the distance in the dark, and each note was a different color. And we've heard about this kind of ability to see color through music, and some people have this skill. Well, in that moment, I could see it, but I couldn't hear anything. And the music was animated. It was, you know, the notes were moving on the staff, and it got bigger and bigger as it got closer and just went right through me. And it was at that moment that I heard something, and it was almost inaudible. I could barely hear it. It would be something where you would think, am I crazy? What do I hear? But my soul attached to that sound, and that sound became everything in the cosmos, in the universe, everything.